What's up, DC Nation? Back in the video on DCeased Deadplanet. Now, I'll be going over issue number 4 in this video, and guys, a lot of interesting moments and a huge cliffhanger, so you really want to stay tuned and find out what happens. We got in the description, I'll link down below my playlist for DCeased Deadplanet, so if you're not caught up in the series, go get caught up and then watch this video. But yeah, guys, if you're ready, let's dive into DCeased Deadplanet number 4. This issue opens up in Ivy's garden in Gotham. You see Wally West Flash, which is the new 52 version, and he says something's coming, and you see a boom tube. Wally West, Superboy, Cassie Sandmark, and Mary Marvel all ready to go. Now, Constantine, Mr. Miracle, and Bobo, aka Detective Chimp, come out of the boom tube. Now, Constantine says, whoa, hold up, it's just us. And Batman says, Constantine. But Constantine says, bloody hell, where'd you come from? And Damian Wayne says, you really think it's a good idea to open an explosive portal in the middle of a sanctuary during an undead apocalypse? And Constantine says, they're literally called boom tubes. And he essentially says, hey, it's not my fault that new gods, they want to have pretty much shock and awe and make boom tubes instead of having to be quiet, have to be super loud. That's not my fault. Then Damian Wayne says, you're not dead, Scott-free. And Scott says, and you shrunk, Batman. So he notices that actually the real Batman's dead and this is somebody else, because it's actually Batman's son. But now we see next is a Detective Chimp says Cyborg may have a cure inside him, but he can't access it. Metron's Mobius chair contains all the knowledge of the new gods. If there's an answer to be found, it's in there. Now, Dr. Fate says Metron's one of the fastest entities in existence. He can't be caught. Then Commissioner Gordon says you need to lure him to one place. And Damian says Metron prizes knowledge above all else. And Bobo says, what do we have that he can't ignore? Then Constantine pulls out Madame Xanadu's crystal ball. And Zatanna's instant reactions, did you ask her about that? I think she's gonna be pretty mad if you just stole it from her. And Constantine's like, oh yeah, she'll find out about it. I think she's probably found out about it now. So Constantine did steal it. And then Mr. Miracle says, I'll take Cyborg New Genesis. I'm not sure how we'll be received. And Superboy says, you'll be received with friends by your side. So Superboy's like, I got you, we'll make it in there. Now we see next, and Superboy says, I won't speak for others, but anyone best suited to space is welcome to join us. Now he says, hey, where's Dinah? And Harley says, well, pretty much she came with Green Arrow. Green Arrow's undead, and Poison Ivy says, no undead people in the garden, and pushed him out. And she's saying, wow, pretty much Superman, he's dead, Wonder Woman's dead. Harley just starts ranting about how all these people are dead, and Cassie Sandmark looks at her with like a dirty look. And Harley's like, well, it's not funny. Harley like really shifts the conversation because she sees that she's pissing off Wonder Girl. Superboy says, I'll find her. So he's looking out for pretty much Green Canary or Dinah Lance. Now, Mary Marvel says, I'll come with you. And Superboy's like, I'll be okay. And she says, yeah, that's what everybody else has said, pretty much who got infected by this anti-life. So now we got Mary Marvel and Superboy traveling together. Come on, they're gonna become a couple at some point in the series. I just see it from this. Now, we see Superboy, he comes upon Dinah, she's in the rain. And she says, John, you're okay. And Superboy says, I'm fine, really. She says, I'm so sorry. And Superboy says, you couldn't have known. And Mary Marvel says, are you planning on staying out here alone? And Dinah, while she's in the rain, says, no, I'm not alone. And she sees Green Arrow, guys. He's still not construct, but he's undead. And she says, all he did want to come, I promise to bring him back. And Superboy says, Dinah, we can still bring him back. There's a cure. We don't have it yet, but we're going after it. We're going to take on God. We could really use you. And Dinah says, I can't just leave him in the middle of this. And Mary Marvel says, you don't have to. And pretty much what Green Canary says is, but Ivy said I can't be there. I can't be in the garden if I have an undead person. And Mary Marvel essentially tells her, no, don't worry, I'll talk to her, I'll try and make a deal so you could be with Oliver in a good place, somewhere that's not dangerous, because it's not good to be out here in the rain with all the undead. Now, that's when we shift and we see a group of people who are about to go through this boom too. And Batman says, come back, yeah, I wouldn't do well without you. So Batman's pretty much telling Superboy and Wonder Girl, hey, make sure you come back, don't die. And Wonder Girl thinks that's pretty hot, so she kisses Batman, and we see Damian Wayne and Cassie Sandmark just making out. And Dr. Fate and Wally West have their own comments on this. Wally's like, come on, we're trying to save the world, you guys are making out. And Dr. Fate, he says, what do you expect? When I was their age, I barely ever came up for air. Now we see Mr. Miracle, Superboy, Cassie Sandmark, Green Canary all go through and they make it to New Genesis, home of the new gods. Now, we see Light Ray says, Scott, finally, starting to think you thought you were too good for us. And Scott says, shut up, Light Ray. Now we see Orion. He says, what in the fires of apocalypse do you think you're doing? And Scott says, hello, brother. And Orion says, you would walk into New Genesis with an anti-life virus? And Scott says, he's a person, Orion, not a virus. And Orion punches Mr. Miracle in the face. He says, stand. And Scott says, standing. He stands back up. Orion punches him again. And Superboy's like, hey. And Orion says, stand. And Mr. Miracle says, standing. He punches him again. And Superboy says, leave him alone. And Orion says, stand. But before he can finish the sentence, Superboy punches him in the face and takes out Orion in one shot. And this is actually something that Damian Wayne, Batman, actually saw coming. He thinks that Superboy is more stronger than his father, Superman, and he's right. So Orion is taken out one punch by Superboy, and Superboy says, stay down. Now, Highfather comes out and says, I see my boys are fighting for a chance. And he says, Scott, I was deeply saddened to hear of Barda. My condolences. Big Barda is dead, guys. She got sucked into the anti-life, and we see Cassidy, she's like, we're hoping condolences are premature. Highfather. Superboy says, we may be able to save her and everyone take it. Scott says, Highfather, we need the Mobius chair. Will you call out to Metron? Highfather says, he may not come. No one rules over Metron. He's only ruled by his quest for knowledge. And Scott says, that's where this comes in. And he pulls out Madame Xandu's crystal ball, and that's when Highfather says, no matter what that is, he will not give up the Mobius chair willingly. And Scott says, we know, but I know how to build a trap. And that's what Highfather says, I'll call up Metron, but first you must do one thing for me. And he says, there's something I must show you, son, alone. And Scott says, what is it? And they both go out and they're on this ledge. They watch Forager and Scott's son, Jacob, just hanging out, playing. And that's when Highfather says, your son. And Scott says he's grown. And Highfather says, yes. That's what sons do when we abandon them. And Scott says, I didn't abandon Jacob. I brought him here to protect him. And Highfather says, Scott, that was 5 years ago, before you and Barda. And Scott says, don't. And that's when Highfather says, stop punishing yourself just because you lived and she didn't. And Scott says, I can't give him what he deserves. You gave me a Darkseid. You said it was the only way to stop a war. You did what you felt was right. And Highfather says to him, well, yeah, but that's my biggest regret that I ever did in my whole entire life. I wish I had more time with you instead of giving you away. Now, that's when he says, you can choose to escape your responsibility, but I urge you not to give up on him, Scott. Don't miss what we miss. Don't miss what we could have had together. And he says, with Darkseid gone, your son may very well rule the universe one day. Do you really want his influence to be Orion, like Gray? And Scott says, oh god, no. And Highfather says, you feel guilt for his mother. Perhaps you don't feel worthy to be his father, but you're worthy. You're a great man, a very big hole. You can't escape. And Scott says, I'm gonna bring back his mother. And Highfather says, whether you succeed or not, still be with your son. If it's just you, still be with your son. Don't abandon him. Now, we shift to Apocalypse. We see our heroes go to space. And Superboy says, Mr. Miracle, he's coming. And he says, I can see him. And they said, be ready, everyone. Metron is coming in fast. We see Metron, he makes it. He says, Highfather said you had an object for me. Something to see the future. Scott says, and hi to you, too, Metron. Here, he gives him Madame Xandu's crystal ball. Now, Metron says, simple earth magic, but Ty is something far, far older. Yes, I believe I can utilize this to witness the future I need to see. And that's what Scott says. I can definitely see your future. And they all ambush Metron. They start fighting out Metron, but Metron just takes him out easily. He's way bigger. He like stomps on Dinah, a green canary, takes out Mr. Miracle, starts taking out each hero one by one. It's actually a pretty awesome double page spread, and then he just goes. He just starts flying away because he knows it's a trap. But that's when Superboy just flies after him with Mary Marvel. And Superboy says, wait, please. He says, please, I never wanted to fight. And Metron says, yeah, you did. And Superboy says, we need your help. We just need your chair for a moment. We'll give back. I give my word. Earth is being consumed by the anti-life equation. And Metron says, I don't care. And Mary Marvel says, don't you? Metron, you're supposed to be one of the most intelligent beings in the universe. If we fail to contain this and death wins, what happens to knowledge? And Metron says, you should have opened with that instead of a fight. So guys, I agree with Metron. Like, come on, why fight him if you could just open up with a good proposal? Now, that's when Metron tells Scott free and says, and I would like to look at your device. There's something I have seen in the future, but I know not how it begins. And Scott says, okay, you get time with the ball. Cyborg gets to sit in this big chair. Now what we see is Cyborg is in this chair, right? He's he's on the chair, he's looking at knowledge, and he finds out that, yes, I have the cure. So now, all they have to do is go back to Earth, give the cure, and save everyone. this Metron chair was the solution. Now, Cyborg says, I need to recode my blood. The live equation is here. But that's when we see Superboy. It's with Metron. He says, Metron, thank you. Metron looks into the crystal ball. He says, I can't be here. I must leave now. He leaves in like a real hurry. And that's when Cass said, did he just? And Diane Lance says, yeah, he just left like quickly. And that's when Scott says, I think it's time to leave. They go through that boom tube, but what we see next is out of the fiery pits of Apocalypse. We see this thing start to break, and we see the Black Racer watches, and he's actually a little frightened himself. And out of this big rock comes Darkseid. Darkseid's awakened as anti-life. He's an undead Darkseid. It's an awesome image, guys. And what we see next is Highfather. He's on New Genesis, and he sees that his brother has awakened. And he tells pretty much the Forager and Jacob, he's like, take Jacob and go. And what we see next is Highfather hears Orion. And Orion says, Father. And Highfather says, Orion, he runs out of the gates of New Genesis and sees Darkseid. He's undead Darkseid. He stomped on Orion, and he's ready to just kill everyone. Guys, this is a huge cliffhanger because, one, Darkseid, we use the beginning of this whole thing. He, in a way, caused this whole anti-life virus because he took Cyborg, kidnapped him, then put the virus in Cyborg, and took over Darkseid. Darkseid destroyed Apocalypse, killed Assad, killed a bunch of people, but we thought, alright, Darkseid's just dead. That's it, right? No. He's actually still alive, guys. Well, he's still, like, not destroyed. He's actually dead, technically. So he's undead Darkseid. He's ready to just kill everyone in New Genesis, including Orion, including Highfather. And honestly, I just hope Jacob and Forager just get out. Because one, Jacob is a Scott-free son. I don't want him to die. And Forager, he's just an awesome character. I really like his character. I don't want him to just die like that. But still, Darkseid's a big foe. And we'll see what happens in the next issue. But something that would be so dope, guys, is, you know how Trigon was pretty much teased last issue with he's coming to Earth? What if Darkseid shows up to Earth, this undead Darkseid, and fights off against Trigon? That would be the most epic match and a great way to end this whole series, right? To end DCeased Deadplanet. Now, what also could happen is Trigon and Darkseid fight, Trigon loses, and now we got undead Trigon and undead Darkseid. Like, how the heck are our heroes gonna survive that? Like, yeah, you can make everyone Earth, pretty much save them with a cure. Alright, that's all great. But can you fight off against an undead Darkseid and an undead Trigon? I don't think so. Now, some other great parts in this issue was Mr. Miracle and Highfather talking, where pretty much Highfather's telling Scott Free that, hey, don't abandon your son. I thought it was a really good moment. It was like sad, but also hopeful at the same time. Because now Scott has a chance to actually save his wife. I really like that. Like Tom Taylor, he's one of the best writers right now, and one of the best things he does is great character moments. And there's a lot of those in this issue, and I'm looking forward to issue number 5. But yeah, guys, overall, I'm gonna give this issue a 9 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. If you guys are not reading this series, you're really missing out. And actually, go to your local comic shop, buy this issue. Support the comic book industry, and support the talent that's going into this comic book, alright? If you guys like me, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, make sure you guys for my next DCeased Deadplanet review. And actually, come see looks about this issue. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about that cliffhanger with Darkseid being back? I was shocked. It gave me a lot of goosebumps, but tell me your reaction down below. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.